fenced-in area, about 300 feet or so back from the road, but not near any noise sources of any significance. Then we measured down right on the edge of the river, right here. And this was, it's near the road here, but there's an embankment that goes down. So the monitor position was actually, the line of sight was blocked, and you really couldn't hear the traffic or any noise, road noise down there. Just kind of quiet along the riverside. And the next position was at another farm, just kind of in front of the farm, and near a house here. And then this position here was just right in the side yard of the house that's right on 12E as you come into town. And I thought there was, well, maybe there's traffic noise here that elevates the sound level and for the people that live along here. So we'll check that out. And then finally position 6 here was, this is on Hill Street here. And it's aptly named. This monitor was, this is a very expensive $6,000 sound level meter with frequency measurement capability. And it has to run on AC power, so we had to put an extension cord on it. And for some reason there was a blip in the power or something, and this, expensive as it was, it didn't run and record anything. So we're down to 5 positions essentially, unfortunately. Now, what were we measuring? The DEC guidelines don't specify what measure you use. They just say the background plus 6. They don't say whether it's the average, the statistical, the minimum, the maximum. They don't say. So what we're after primarily is this level here that's called the L90 residual. It's the level that's exceeded 90% of the time. So here's an example of 15 minutes of just some noise along the road someplace, and there's a car is going by and all that. But the L90 captures the momentary quiet times, just in between events, almost the minimum level. It's just these, and they can only last sometimes for a few seconds, but it's just the momentary lulls between wind gusts or planes flying over, anything else happening. It's the level that's consistently there to potentially provide masking or noise to cover up some other source like the project. Now, the average sound level is this red line here for this particular sample, and that's highly influenced by any kind of sporadic noise happening. It's usually significantly higher than the L90. We measured and reported this average, the LEQ, but really what we're after for design purposes is this near minimum L90 level. Okay, now here is the kind of the raw data. This is the L90 measured for the winter survey over the whole survey period at all the positions except for 6. And it looks kind of messy here, but one thing that sticks out is this blue one is consistently higher than the rest of them. There's position 4 on Branch Road. Now, for whatever reason, it never got particularly quiet there. Even when it got real quiet everywhere else, it stayed a little bit noisy there. And it's like consistently higher. So we threw out that position. Now, the remaining positions are all kind of, they follow the same general trends most of the time, not all of quiet, they all get quiet. Here, when it gets noisy, they all get noisy. And they kind of stay together and they intertwine. There's no one position that's consistently louder or quieter than the rest of them. So, for design purposes, we just take the average of all those positions and say that's the typical level that would be found pretty much anywhere in the site area. So what we're left with is, here we have the background level, and it's the L90, it's this near minimum, but it ranges from 20 to about 54. So what value do you calculate the 6 increase from? You've got a huge range here. If you went out on this day, you'd measure 20. If you went out the next day, you'd measure 38. You know what? We need to make some sense out of this. So here's the same data, the same L90 sound level, the design level. And that's compared to the wind speed. Now, this is not the wind speed at ground level. This is the wind speed measured by the Met Tower up at the level of the turbine rotors. This is specifically the data from the 40-meter, 125-foot anemometer. So what we're comparing is the wind that the turbines are going to see compared to the sound level that's actually happening down near the ground. And clearly, there's a connection between the two. It goes up, sound goes up, the wind goes up. I mean, the whole time. It's kind of an undeniable correlation here. And there's no day-night dependency here either. This peak level here, where the sound is high, is happening in the middle of the night, midnight here. And this lull here, where the wind dies down and the sound level gets low, that's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And here it gets noisy, that's 12 o'clock in the afternoon here. So there's no day-night. It's just whatever the wind is doing, it drives the sound level.
Question for you.
Yes.
Can you go back to that slide?
So,
What wind speed does the turbines not run here on your graph?
well, it would be somewhere in this area right in here, around 3 to 4 meters per second. Yeah, by the way, this is the sound level, the wind speed normalized to a standard 10-meter height. So it's measured by the high anemometer, and then it's translated down to 10 meters. It's not actually measured at 10 meters. And the reason for doing that is that turbine sound levels are expressed as a function of the wind speed at 10 meters above the ground. So everything has to be brought onto a level playing field, so it's directly comparable. But the actual reading was taken, in this case, 125 feet up. And then we also looked at there was an anemometer at 80 meters, the actual hub height, and that translates down to essentially the same wind speed at 10 meters as well. There's no significant difference there. But I've used the 40 just because there's the least amount of error in normalizing it to 10 meters.
Okay.
Oh, here's more about that. So here's the standard 10 meters, and this is the curve that's given in this IEC standard for converting from the wind speed at one height to another. And it's just a generalized curve. It's only meant to be approximate. So what we've done is we've taken the measurements here at 40 meters and then translated